What is going on, Browns fans? I am your host, Mike Hilly. I'm here. We are doing this remote. This is Studio B, aka my hotel room in Denver, but I'm representing the Brownies in the back there. With me, as always, Mike Ristano, Bonzo1273 on Twitter. You guys can find him there. Welcome to the Wednesday show, week 5. Mike, what's going on, my man?
Much another Wednesday. It's exciting. I feel like we have the pregame, the postgame, and then it's a blink, and it's Wednesday, and we're getting ready for another week. Going to LA, as everybody knows, to face the Chargers, who they look pretty good on Monday night.
Yeah,
especially Eckler.
This is going to be an interesting one, dude. I have not yet put a whole lot of study into the Chargers, but I think they've got a pretty good offense. Obviously, with what, Justin Hebert. So. Yeah, I think it could be an interesting one. I want to get your take on a bunch of things right before we get into the PFFs. So if my dad's out there listening, everything's going to be fine. We're going to get to the PFFs because that's obviously something that we're really critically, I'm excited about. But I wanted to ask your thoughts on a couple of things that have been going on. Number one, we are now being discussed by the national media talking heads as the best defense in the league.
Yeah.
Is that something that you believe to be true, or is it just a hot take? Give me your thoughts on that.
Well, the defense is very good. There's no question about that. I think from the media standpoint, I would probably say it's more of a really intense pass the hot potato around take. And I only say that because, if you, and I'm not taking anything away from our defense. I think they're great, but just from a media standpoint, I think that you look at that Bears game, and the Bears were very underwhelming.
Yep.
They didn't chip Miles at all, and we just had a field day on them, and rightfully so. When they scored 6 points on us, and then you turn around and you go into a hostile environment because it's loud. In Minnesota, and they play lights out again, and they hold the Vikings to 7 points. So 2 back-to-back games, 6 points, 7 points. I think a couple of weeks ago I was saying I'll give the defense to 7 or 8 on the weeks wise in terms of grading to see where we're at, but they seem to be gelling. They're buying in. Woods has, switched it up a bit. It's not as vanilla as it was. I think I mentioned Rocky Road last week, and now we're getting into a little pistachio as well. So do I think they're a top 5 defense in the league? Absolutely. Do I think they're in the top 3? I do. Are there a couple other teams that people can make the argument that maybe they're the number 1 defense in the league? Sure. But I think as far as, the week in the media and whatnot, it's low hanging fruit to be able to take that and run with it, if you will.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that we're in the conversation right now. I think that after another, if we shut down the Chargers like we did the Vikings, we will absolutely be in that conversation. Absolutely. Squabble Lane says, great job in the Vikings podcast. You honestly sounded like a front office executive. Appreciate that. I thought you and the Vikings guys were going to have custody battle over Leroy Horde. And here's an interesting story. So my dad's played golf with Leroy Horde a bunch of times. And Leroy, I know he's got an affinity. He likes the Browns fans and everything like that. But I think he said that he enjoyed his time in Minnesota a lot more than he did in Cleveland. I think he was platooning quite a bit. I don't think he felt as appreciated, with like Metcalf and Vardell on the field. But Leroy Horde during that time was the workhorse guy, catching little screen passes. I mean, he was like the blend between the two. And so yeah, I mean, I consider Leroy Horde a Brown, but the Vikings fans. Actually, this is interesting. We probably should have brought that up. That was funny. The other thing, Mike,
Yeah.
is the controversy going around about Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
And it has gone from he's complete trash and we have to dump him. There's the other people who are like the Baker stands, who are like he's the greatest thing ever, and he can do no wrong. Then you got the people that are sitting there going, well, Deshaun Watson's going to be available soon. Well, Aaron Rodgers might be available soon. And I just want to I know you and I were very critical of Baker's performance last week, rightfully so. He himself very critical of his performance. But what is your take so far from the reaction of Browns Twitter and the Browns fans that you've seen from Sunday when the game ended up till right now? Are we in full meltdown mode as a community, or is this something that can be just salvaged with wins?
So before I get into that, because I'm thirsty, I do, and I think you know where I'm going with this. I do have to break out the official Wednesday show mug that I now have labeled it for myself anyway. This is Victory Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday mug for me.
Everything but Monday.
Everything but Monday, because we have the Victory Monday mug. But I mean, does that guy look familiar or what?
The green screen's killing it, but yes, it looks really good. And you know what? I might do? I might limit that. I can go on the store and limit it to like 10 only. So like
Collector's edition.
It'll be one. You have the 1 of 10. So if anybody goes to browniepostgame.com/merch, you can get you can get your own Bonzo 1273 mug for like $11 with the Wednesday show on the other side. So I think that's awesome, man. And I know you got some shirts on the way too. Have they arrived yet?
They were shipped today. I knew I had to tell you something earlier. I forgot, but yeah. So they'll be here. So next week.
Oh, nice.
I should be in a surprise shirt. I wish I could wear the 1, but we're just not there yet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, you can't. Yeah. You don't want to jump the gun on the seasons.
You can't rush it, right?
Right.
You can't do it. So, but back to your question. Obviously, you and I were critical after the game, and rightfully so, as you said. It was an abysmal game for him, and there's no doubt
the original
there it is.
The original Wednesday show shirt.
There it is. That is coming. I got that one coming.
I'm doing a happy hour with the people from work after this at a rooftop bar. Should I roll up in that?
You might have to. Yeah, but I like you said. I mean, I believe it was warranted. He's got to play better. He knows he has to play better.
Mm-hmm.
We just have to hope, that it does get better. It's Wednesday. I've moved on. I'm ready for the Chargers. I'm looking for a bounce back week. So we'll see. I mean, if I personally don't think that it's the it's the shoulder that's doing it, but it's out there. So I look at it this way: if it is, now we're just another week removed of a healing process. So
sure,
I'm hoping to see an improvement out on the left coast. And the only thing I will say that I don't want to say it was troubling to me, but it was one of those things that, as you remember back in our day, things that make you go, But when asked about the throw down the right sideline towards the end of the game, going left to right, when he was wide open and he and Baker threw it behind him towards the outside. And I
Yep.
guess today they asked him about it, and he said, they both read the coverage different. And I just thought that was kind of peculiar because, I mean, it was evident that Odell was 4 or 5 steps past the guy at that point. So, what are we reading there? Just throw it up with some air and let him run under it, and you guys are celebrating in the end zone. So that sort of had me puzzled, but it is what it is. And I said it today on Twitter. I'm done. I'm over with it. On to the next one, but it's got to get better.
Yeah, I don't think one game is going to define one game, especially a game that we win, is going to define this kid for his career. I think that there are a lot of people that are waiting to see him take that next step forward in his progression in his career, much like we saw at the end of the season last year, hoping that was going to continue to build. And we haven't seen that just yet, which is the frustrating part. But
Yeah.
what we could possibly be seeing is a guy who is not a fast starter in the season. And I could almost attribute, so it could be one of two things. It could be that. It could be like it just takes him a few games to get going, right? Because he didn't get a ton of reps in the preseason. So a lot of this is just like firing you right out into the ocean and say, go swim. Professionals typically can jump ahead and do that, but maybe he's just one of those guys that takes a little bit of extra time to get there. Or, like you said, with the shoulder, which you don't believe to be a problem, this actually struck me yesterday as I'm sitting here in this hotel room bed. I woke up this morning, a brisk 41-year-old man, and my neck was hurting, my back was hurting, my shoulder was hurting, like all of it just from like laying in this bed, a new bed. Okay, so think about it like this: if I had a separated shoulder, right? Think about all the things that you have to do with your shoulder, putting on a button-down shirt, doing all this stuff, let alone sleeping in a bed. Anytime you move around sleeping in your bed,
Now,
you're going
let
to
me
feel
ask you a
that.
question real quick before I forget my thought while you're doing that.
Yeah.
So reverse that to be, how old's Baker? 24?
20, he's got to be
23?
25, I think.
25. So we'll say, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I'll say he's 24.
Okay.
If you are hurting in a way that you might be sailing balls or your accuracy might be in a little bit of question,
Mm-hmm.
then what are you doing leading with that shoulder, blocking people? And furthermore, what are you doing trying to pull a high step Deion Sanders and diving for so
Yeah.
and the reason why I go there is I don't think that, and you could say, well, it's the the heat of the moment, you're in the game or whatnot, but two things. Let's not forget there was a guy wide open in the flat staring at him, and B, he decided that
Twice.
he was going to run and he was going to reach out and dive and make that first down. So that doesn't seem to me, the blocking and the diving for the first down, whatnot, a guy that is, that has a shoulder that's a little bit hurt. And look, and again, I swore that I was no more Baker Mayfield bashing or whatnot, but I guess the point being then becomes, if it is the shoulder and it is bothering me, then let's stop being stupid and let's protect ourselves.
Yeah. Oh no, I think clearly, and Sarah just said it as well. Like he's not feeling anything on game day. Like they're numbing him up like he's going into child labor. He's not feeling much, right?
Yeah.
So that might get him to think I can do it. But then again, on the flip side, then if he's not feeling it, then where's the accuracy? Where's that gone? Like why is that there? Is it a mental thing? Did he just miss him? I mean, there's a lot of stuff like that. And it killed me because that one play would have won me a fantasy game. So it's like, there's things like that are out there. And I think a lot of people are getting like hung up on the fantasy stuff with Odell and Baker and everything. And the the stats about when Odell was in and when he wasn't in last year and how we started winning and it started looking cleaner. Whole bunch of stuff that's out there. And I think that's the frustrating thing as a fan. It's like we have a tremendous amount of talent on the offensive side of the ball. And when we run the ball, everything seems to be good. But when Baker drops back to pass, or when he is in single empty back type shotgun formation, it scares me on so many levels. And I think it's because I see the happy feet. It's because I don't want him to get hurt. It's because it doesn't seem like our guys get open fast enough. The defensive line just knows that it's a pass, so they're going to be bull rushing. But yet they continue to do it, and a lot of teams do it. So I don't know. My dad screams at the TV, make Baker move, roll him out, do play action. Right?
I mean, I get it, and again, I don't want to get negative or anything like that, but what worries me too, in a way, this is all I'll say, is if you look at the history of the league, right? I mean, since the dawn of the vertical passing game, the goal on offense, and especially as the vertical passing game has evolved, is you go out and you get your quarterback a number one receiver. I mean, there's a reason why, one guy is labeled a number one and one guy's labeled a number two and a number three, and then you got bench guys. There's a reason for that.
Yep.
So, you look and you, I mean, and I'm not going to go back in time, but you just look at what's going on in the league right now. Josh Allen needed a number one. They traded for Stephon Diggs. He made Stephon Diggs that much better. And you could see those type of trades and whatnot, all around the league where they bring in a number one guy and, it off and running. So if we can't, so you have those people on Twitter, and we could take it back to where we started was, Odell's got to go. It's Odell's fault or whatever. So, I mean, if that's the case, and that's what people believe, so then you're trying to tell me that our franchise quarterback can only play with 2, 3, and 4th string guys. Like he's not capable of having a legit one and being able to go through progressions and not always focus on that guy. I just I can't believe that.
I don't think it's that. I think if you put Baker with another legit one, I don't think it's necessarily that he can't play with elite talent. I think that it's something that's not really easily measured. I think if you're going to go down that path, and I'm not saying I'm doing that, I'm just playing devil's advocate here, and I'm giving you what I'm hearing and what I see on Twitter. The experiment with Odell, and the reason why Browns fans are critical of the relationship and just the two of them together, is because of Odell. Odell Beckham and Stephon Diggs are two completely different human beings on the stratosphere of celebrity. And in general, Odell Beckham in the past has been a bit of a distraction. I'm not saying he's doing that in Cleveland, so please, everybody, don't come down on me. I'm just giving you what I'm seeing on Twitter, and I can give you plenty of examples of it. And I try to not embark in those conversations because it's all speculation and hearsay. But the point is, Odell is a guy that, as much as he says, I just want to win, I don't care if I just want to help the team win. I think that he truly believes that. But I think that he also is a competitor. He wants to score touchdowns. He wants the ball in the end zone. He wants the targets. And he believes that he's an elite guy and he should get those targets, which I do not disagree with at all.
Now,
but
let me ask you this. Would you, I'll give you a couple yes or no questions.
Okay.
Would you consider Terrell Owens a Odell Beckham type in terms of celebrity and talent.
I
Now,
think Odell
T.O.
Beckham.
actually,
I think Odell Beckham's a bigger celebrity. I think T.O. was a bigger talent.
okay. So if you go that way, because what I was going to go is with Donovan McNabb, he got his yards. With Steve Young, he got his yards. With Tony Romo, he got his yards. So
It's like Randy Moss too. Randy Moss is a guy that when he was on the Raiders was like everybody thought he was washed up. Then he goes to Tom Brady and he has like arguably the best career season of a wide receiver's ever had.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I think from what it appears to be is that Odell makes Baker uncomfortable.
But then to that point, and that's where I was going earlier, is even if you take away the celebrity and just have a legit number one talented guy, right?
Yep.
Baker's not focusing on Odell because, Odell's wearing $15 million worth of jewelry around his neck and he's driving a beautiful new car and he's jetting to Paris after the game. He's honing in on him and he's focused on him because that's his number one read and his superstar. So, you know what I mean? So if you put somebody else in that same position as his quote unquote superstar.
Yep.
And that's what I worry. So that's my only thing where I was going with that. So then if you have like a Tyreek Hill, let's say, right? Not even nearly as celebrity status as OBJ, you throw Tyreek Hill in there.
Yep.
Is Baker staring at Tyreek Hill and not seeing Kareem Hunt 2 feet in front of him in the flat, not seeing, Demetric Felton.
That's the question. It's like,
you know what I mean? So that's maybe I didn't set it up good enough, but that's where sort of what I was.
No, I think that's valid. I think it's 100% valid. I think that with Baker, that he reads Odell, he looks for that matchup, he looks for this stuff. In this last game, he just happened to miss it. If he makes that pass, if they connect for that touchdown, that is a highlight that they'll play all year.
Oh, yeah.
He just missed it.
And he made great throws to him during the game. I mean, those crossing routes, he put the ball where it needed to be.
He missed Kareem Hunt in the end zone. He missed a couple guys. He missed Harrison Bryant. He missed a couple guys high. And he missed Odell Beckham on a really big play that would have literally just sealed the game. So there was a lot of that. And I think that's why our feeling after that game, and a lot of Browns fans were saying the same thing, that it felt kind of like a loss. Like it was a game that we expect and we want to see the Browns beat teams by, double digits and multiple scores. And we had an opportunity to do that in this game. And instead, we had to rely on our defense not once, but twice to close out the game. And against the Vikings, against a team that I consider to be mediocre, with a dinged up Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook's 100% healthy. Who knows what happens?
Yeah, definitely could have been a different look.
Could have been a different thing. And I think that's where the Browns fans were frustrated, where they're like, look, Baker had them on the goal line, couldn't get it in, and then missed guys high, missed guys right in front of his face. Felton, Kareem Hunt. He missed them.
I was gonna say when you just said that I even forgot about the Hunt being wide open in the end zone. He sailed it on him. I totally forgot about that one. Like I focused on the flat one, and
Well, hey, we're. My dad just got here. Hey, Dad, happy birthday.
We got to get back on task.
We're got to get back on task. We haven't hit the PFFs yet. Dad, when I see him in there, he's like, oh, we got to get back on task. Okay, let's hop over. Let's do...
Yeah, where do you want to start?
Let's go offense first, because we were just talking about offense. Let's keep it on. Let's keep it on the offensive side of the ball.
All right, let's go offense. I had the defensive grades pulled up. Let me pick up the offense.
We can call an audible. Okay, let's go up.
No, we're good. Yep, I got them. So, I like games. So, who do you think? And I'll leave you with this.
Okay.
Here's your clue. it is not a skill position player who was the number one ranked offensive player
I
this
knew
week.
it. See, like
Who
that's the
was
thing.
it?
It's like it's so like I have no way to really gauge like how an offensive lineman is performing because I'm not watching them every play.
Well, you know what though? But you know where you know what it is.
Uh,
So we know now that you were looking at the offensive line,
okay.
and that is the
Okay.
guy.
So then if it's the offensive line,
Yep.
then see, in my mind, it could be Bitonio, it could be Teller, it could be Treader, it could be Conk. I'm gonna say because he played really well last week, I'm gonna say
Yeah.
Conklin.
So Conklin was solid too. He was a green. He was seventh
Okay,
at
then
67.
my next guess would have been Teller.
Teller was ninth
Okay, I'm
at
0 for 2.
65-4.
So like I said, I
Hey,
can't
you're
I
you're
can't
you're getting
gauge the
there.
quality of offense. I just keep going down the
You
list.
only got a couple guys left.
Batonio.
Yeah, it was Batonio, 90.9.
No, okay, yeah, and you know what? I should have guessed that because people were giving him a lot of accolades today on Twitter, and I should have said that. So that's awesome that he did that well, and he deserved it, right? He
Yeah.
he played really well. How did Treader do? Let's just round out the line.
Yeah, so and the interesting thing on Batonio is his run block was a 90.5 and his pass block was a 66.8. Still green, but not as high as, let's say, a JC Treader, who came in sixth
Okay.
at a 69.7. His pass block was 75.4, well into the green, and his run block was 66.7. So almost a flip flop on the pass block and the run block for those two guys. But looking at 7, you got Conklin, 67.9, again still in the green.
In
Um,
overall,
Overall in the green, yep,
okay.
67.9. 73.4 in the run block, and then a 53.6 in the pass block. So they're sort of and I didn't even think about it, and we just started going through these, and there's sort of a trend that we're seeing here, because then we go to Wyatt Teller,
Yeah.
who was ninth, and he was a 65.4, 65.7 in the run block, but then in the pass block, he was a 55.1. And if you go to Jed, and we know he's hurt, he was a 37.7 in pass blocking, a 58.5 overall, and a 73.8 in the run blocking. And then obviously Hudson came in for him. He was at the bottom, tied for 16th, and he had a 55 overall score for pass block. So I really didn't notice that when I was looking at the scores
Yeah.
the past couple of days, but it's pretty interesting, because you look, and I mean, we're a run first team, so you look at their run blocking grades, and the run blocking grades are pretty damn high, and then you look at the pass block grades, and they're kind of So it kind of makes you wonder, and then it sort of goes along with those scores are you know an indicator as to why some certain person has been having a little bit of happy feet lately.
It very well could be. That's a good point. And before I forget, we
Yeah,
have a Victory Monday mug to give away.
that's
So
exciting.
everybody head over to dogwoofs.com. I'm starting the giveaway now. So you have 10 minutes to go ahead and get your Brownie postgame points entered into the contest. So as you come back every week, you gain points for being a loyal member. So make sure you capture your points by logging into dogwoofs.com. I'll try to type it in there into the chat. Head over to dogwoofs.com and get yourself into the drawing, which we're going to pull in about 10 minutes over there for the winner. And also, I didn't do this earlier. Want to give some shout outs to the people in chat. 17 Squabble Lane, Cleveland BCI, Sarah, Mario G, Ray, Jackie Haynes, Mids Plug, John Schlegel. My dad is here. Dan
Birthday
Kelly,
boy.
the big birthday. Ryan Burlow's in the house. Mike R is here.
That's me.
Oh, that's you. Okay. Mike R is double dipping in chat. Fernando Rodriguez. Anybody else who's is in here, I appreciate you all. Thank you for joining. Head over to Dog Woofs and get yourself in the drawing right now if you can. Let's continue on, Mike. So let's get into the skill guys.
Yeah. So, and I don't put much stock into this, and the only reason I say that, and I obviously for the 6 total plays he played, I mean, he was lights out. He was the second ranked guy, which was Demetric Felton. But again, he played 6 snaps, 4 pass, 2 were actually he was blocking assignments. He was an 80.1 overall, 72.4 in the pass game. And I guess he did his job at the run blocking because he had a 78-1 on that one. So again, a light load, but he made the most of the snaps that he did see. So here's a surprising one that you'll like, and I think some folks in the chat will like. Hollywood comes in at 3. Yeah, 76-1. 76-5 in the pass game, and 61-6 in the pass blocking game. Not a very big stat for
Not bad though. I think Hollywood right now is turning into a very sure-handed third option. I guess now second option. I guess you could say in the passing game behind Odell. We haven't seen a lot from DPJ yet this season. A couple nice plays here and there, but not really the breakout type catches of late. Which is okay. We have a quarterback who's missing guys, and we're running the ball like better than I've ever seen the Cleveland Browns run the ball. So it's to be expected a little bit, but Hollywood's doing pretty good. I think I want to say he's on a 1-year deal. Don't quote me on that, but like I keep having Hollywood come back for 1-year deals for as long as he wants, or sign him long term. Who cares? Like, let's just make him a Brown. He loves it here. He represents the city. Every time he catches a ball, it's a first down, and it's like a 20-yard first down. And then he puts the ball through his legs, stands up, does his little shimmy, and moves on. We have not seen the red carpet yet this season, which is disappointing, but that's going to come as well. And it's going to come in one time that's like an awesome moment too. So I can't wait to see that. Who was the? Oh, I didn't want to break you up, but did we say who was like number 1, 2, and 3 yet?
Yeah, Batonio, Felton, and Higgins.
Batonio, Felton, and Higgins. Okay.
Yeah, but you brought somebody up, and again, I don't get it. I feel I was waiting, and again, it's early in the season. We're going on week 5, but I've been expecting this kid to break out, and we're just not seeing it. And it's DPJ down at the bottom of the list, tied with Hudson at 50.2, with a 50.8 in the pass game. And I mean, it's not. And what I need to make a note. I'm going to go back and watch the all 22 and just focus on him, because I don't understand what's going on. Now, I will say, well, let me start here, and then I'll get my thought out that I was going to tell you. But he played 46 snaps, so and he had 26 of those were passing plays. So it's not that he's not getting time on the field. I mean, he absolutely is. He's just, I don't know if it's a separation thing, but I will say, where I was going to go before I got back into this thought, is I did see early on Baker had Donovan Peoples-Jones wide open on an in route, and he pushed it into into a guy that was covered, but just the wrong read. So DPJ was open, but he just didn't get to that progression. So
Interesting. How
yeah,
about well, continue on. Let's get through the top 10. Let's see who's next.
Andy Janovich at 4, 72-8.
How many snaps though?
5. So he falls into the Felton category.
Right.
Kareem Hunt 5, not surprising. 70.3.
Yeah, I would have said he would have been number 1 from a skill position. I thought he had a fantastic game.
Yeah, and you take away those big catches by Higgins, and I think that you do see the flip flop there. Hunt at 3.
Right.
You got Treader at 6, Conklin at 7. We already talked about that. Another guy, 52 snaps, waiting for some breakout out of him as well. And we saw a glimpse against the Chiefs, haven't since, and that's the Chief, David Njoku, at a 66.9. Teller was 9th. We talked about him. Hooper at 10. 64.4. He played 56 snaps, and here's another guy that we're paying him a hefty sum, and I could think of 2 drops right off the top of my head. That one that would have put us in a 4th and short situation down on the sideline. It went through his hands.
Yeah.
And then there was another one. I don't know if you remember that one.
I do, absolutely.
Yeah, and then there was one on a I don't know if it was a dig or a crossing pattern. I briefly saw the replay on it, and Baker put it right on him and he dropped it. And I mean, big, strong-handed tight end. That you got to make those plays. So, let me ask you this, not to derail from what we're doing, but is Hooper as advertised, or did we gave him a little bit too much money maybe for the hope so, but not so.
Here's the thing: the Atlanta Falcons throw the ball 50 times a game, so they're gonna they're back when he was there with Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, and Hooper. I mean, he was getting a lot of targets. He's not getting the targets now because we're not going to throw that much. And when we do throw, we have a lot of guys to spread it out to. So I expect him to make the plays when he hits him on the hands, he's got to make it. And you know what? Hooper's been really, really good about that. So maybe Hooper just had a bad game. Is he as advertised? I didn't think we were getting like Tony Gonzalez or like Antonio Gates or anything like that when we got Hooper. I thought we were getting an up-and-coming guy who might be able to give us that level of production, but I didn't expect it because we have too many players to spread the love around to. Yeah. So, and it's the same thing. It's like, well, Hooper came over to take production away from Njoku. And then Harrison Bryant's drafted, and Harrison Bryant takes a lot of production away from those guys as well. So we run a multi-tight end set a lot of the time, and Hooper's not always asked to be a reception type weapon. He's also in there as being like a pseudo offensive lineman, and I think he does that job pretty good.
He does.
Yeah, so I was going to ask you, based off of what we're seeing so far this season, is Kareem Hunt a Pro Bowler right now?
Yeah, I mean,
if you had to pick a Pro Bowler of Kareem Hunt or Nick Chubb, who you taking right now?
As of today, I think you'd have to go Kareem Hunt as of today.
Yeah.
There's some times where I find it interesting because and it's a testament to those two guys because I mean they're so not selfish that it works. I mean,
yeah,
there was one point, I can't remember if it was this past game or the game before, but it was almost like, is Chubb hurt? Like, where is he? And they were just riding the hot hand, and those guys don't even care. Like, they just want to win. If Hunt winds up with 26 touches and Chubb has 9 or 10, all right, whatever, so what? Or vice versa. They don't care.
Yeah.
So
It's
I
amazing.
think that,
It's really amazing the type of
yeah,
friendship they have and mutual respect. And it's like who is the hot hand? I remember we get into the fourth quarter and it's always Hunt. And my dad's like, yeah, I think it's just his drive. I think it's his turn, you know?
yeah,
And then or Nick Chubb will bring it down and get 50 yards on the ground, and then Kareem Hunt will come in to clean it up. You know, and they take turns doing that, which is like really cool.
yeah, I agree. Hey,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, no, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say let's head over to the defense.
Yeah, let's do it.
The
And
big
the
D.
one thing I was gonna say to you, because you had my wheels turning when you were naming those tight ends and stuff,
Mhm.
but I was thinking about it. If you remember, at the time we got Hooper, right? It was Hooper or Hunter Henry. Remember, Hunter Henry was getting ready to be a free agent,
Yeah,
and he was going to get the big deal. And it's wild when I mean, he barely plays in New England. You know,
yeah,
he's done absolutely nothing. So yeah, it's pretty crazy when you look at a guy like him on the Chargers and you're thinking superstar, and then goes out, over to the other side of the country, and he barely gets 10 snaps, but
yeah. It's weird.
yeah,
Um, Ryan
but
Burlow's in the house. Irish Spaghetti's here. Cody Baker. Mary's in the house. Hi, everybody. Just want to give everybody their love. Thank you guys for being here. Heading over to the defense. Before we do that, head over
yep,
to dogwoofs.com. Get signed up for the Victory Monday mug giveaway, which I think has a few minutes left. Let me check how many minutes left on that. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, it's over. So let me go ahead and select the winner.
wow, here we
I'm,
go.
yeah, I wanna
Exciting.
try to let me see. I'm using a laptop and I'm using the same overlay from the desktop, which is awesome because it's cloud based and it just imports it in. But I don't know what's gonna happen when I push this button. So praying that it works.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's close enough.
close enough.
Close enough. Has my all my bookmarks up
So
there.
so now do
Now
you
it
hit
doesn't.
another button and then we see who wins? How's that work?
Yeah, yeah. So now I got the Victory Monday. I'm gonna scroll down just a tiny bit here.
All right.
Okay, so we can still see that. Okay, so let's select the winner. Here we go, baby.
This is exciting.
Randomly selected
Who is it?
Sarah.
Sarah.
Welcome to the winner circle, Sarah. Yeah, look at it. It's all messed up, the thing. So we're gonna go back to our Wednesday show here. But Sarah, congratulations. I should have, if you filled out your information correct in the giveaway, then I should have your address. So it should be fine. But if not, send me a tech or send me an email to browniepostgame@gmail.com and just give me your address. If you haven't put it into dogwoofs.com, if you have, we're fine. I'll get it from John. But if not, send me the email and we'll get you your Victory Monday mug. Congratulations, Sarah, who's also a channel member. As you can see that she is denoted there in green. So we can go ahead and get some Victory Monday mug emojis going out there in the chat, please. On
There it is.
the Wednesday. So
Beautiful.
awesome. Good stuff, guys. Congratulations, Sarah. Okay, let's go to the defense.
All right. So Miles topped us out. No surprise there. Hey, Ellis is in the house.
Ellis, what's going on?
So Miles comes in at a 90.2, 77.3 in the run defense, 79.9 in the pass rush. And this next guy, I mean, mad props. Really nice to see him coming in at the number 2 spot. Played really well. Had his first career interception, and that's Greedy Williams.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Good for him. Good for Greedy.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting rather is Greedy played the most snaps on Sunday. 67 was the top
Hey, they
snap
they
count.
went out there. They went out there and they said, "Prove it to us, Greedy.
Yeah,
This is your
I mean,
shot. Get out there and do your thing." And he did. With
yeah,
with I mean, getting the interception, in a game that mattered the most, in his career, playing as well as he did, and helping us win. I mean, that interception helped us win the game.
absolutely.
So that is pretty impressive. I'm surprised that JOK wasn't in the top two.
Yeah, he well, you'll see where he is, but I mean, and Greedy. So Greedy played 67 snaps. He had 22 in run defense, and he was in coverage for 45 of those snaps. Now, to break it down a little bit more, so you figure he was in 45 coverage snaps, and his coverage grade was an 87. I mean, an amazing game
That's
Greedy played
that's
on.
that's the guy that we drafted.
Yeah,
That's
that's the
the
steal. That's the guy we thought we stole.
and it's so we stole JOK and right now Greedy Williams. If they continue on this pace, I mean, was it you who was out? Somebody was out there on Twitter who was like, we lose three starters and then we get Grant Delpit, JOK, and Greedy Williams, like in terms of the depth to
Yeah,
replace those starters.
yeah,
That's
I mean,
insane. Guys, last year we had Andrew Sadejo,
it's true.
who
Yeah,
couldn't
and I
get a
mean,
job as a bus driver right now.
yeah,
And we got these guys coming in. I mean, it's really a good time to be a Browns fan.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, 78.9 tackling grade too. I mean, he did it all on Sunday, Greedy.
Good for
Um,
Greedy.
so it's funny because number three uh, is the bookend with Greedy in the middle. So you got Miles on one end, Greedy at two, and fitting that Jadeveon Clowney is at three. 81-4, 71-7 on the pass rush,
Yeah.
and 74.6 in the run
Are
defense.
we
So
finally seeing what we were promised with Jadeveon Clowney and Miles Garrett? It
I
appears
think
that we
so.
are.
Yeah, I would agree, and especially, and we talked about it earlier in the show. Joe Woods is now, he's getting a little bit more exotic in his looks, and I mean they're thriving. I mean all of them are. It's interesting because, and again, when we talked about it the other, I guess last week or the week before, and I was on my, week 8 or week 8 kick to see where the defense was.
Mhm.
I think we're going to see more of the same. Just watching them, they, I almost feel like maybe the first couple of games, they really, I don't want to say they didn't know where to go or they didn't know the plays or anything like that, but it wasn't second nature yet to some of them, whether that be rookies or newbies or what have you. But watching that game on Sunday, I mean, they were, I mean, they were everywhere they were supposed to be. Whether they were, who was hanging out for a second and then blitzing the A gap, and it was yeah, it was a sight watching the video. So as you could see, I'm very excited about the defense. So I'll shut up and I'll go on here. So number 4, another guy. Speaking of the newbies, that's just playing lights out.
Mhm.
Malik Jackson,
Mhm.
81-1, 77.0 on the run defense, 75-4 pass rushing grade. And I know you didn't think he was going to be too far down the list, so you know who number 5 is. I think R said the kid that's looks like he's heading for a gold jacket, and let's hope so from your lips to God's ear, as they say. But Jock was a 75-8 overall, 76.2 in the run defense, 77.3 when rushing, and 52.5 in the coverage game. And just a little overall NFL, if you will. The Bills linebacker Milano had a pretty killer game this past week. So he took over the top linebacker spot in the all of the NFL. Yeah, but I mean, Jock is 2. So it's funny when we're going into week 5. So I mean, we've got, they've played some games here. Four looks here. In the early in the season, and I mean, you think of the linebacker play across the NFL, and this kid drafted in the second round arguably should have been a top 15 pick, but anyway, drafted in the second round and top 3 linebacker in the league right now. So I mean, you can't.
It's incredible.
It really is. I think you'll be happy about number 6. Who do you think it is?
Denzel?
Yep.
Yeah.
Do I know you or what?
Man, I gotta tell you, like just the second you said it, when you said you'll be happy, I was like, it's got to be Denzel.
Yeah, Denzel, 74-8, and he played 66 snaps, 42 in coverage, 22 against the run, had a 68-8 coverage score, 84-3 on the pass rush, which they brought him off the edge a few times, which was really a cool thing to see. I mean, like I said, whatever Joe Woods needed to see, whether it be on the field, in the classroom, wherever, he's turned it up, and he's starting to throw some really cool looks out there, and we're seeing the tree bear fruit. So it's pretty good.
Yes. Blessed be the fruit.
That's it. Number 7, Malcolm Smith. So the old guy continues to creep into the top 10 week after week, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's weird. It's like we have like hyper youth at linebacker that's playing out of their mind, and then we still have, Malcolm Smith is a guy that, God, imagine if we would have had him in his prime.
Heyday.
Yeah. Imagine if we had him you drink out of that cup, dude. It's hilarious. I mean, I'm so happy that I'm not going to harp on any linebackers in particular.
Yeah.
But I will say last year, for anybody who's like the longtime Wednesday people, it was almost called the Browns linebacker show. And because we just sat there and we're like, okay, let's just talk about the linebackers. And now we really have excellence at that position. And we haven't even hit the ceiling yet. That's the scary part. We could be looking at, you can't really go like the Ray Lewis route. I think he was just a dominating once in a lifetime type linebacker. But
yeah,
I mean, from what JOK is able to do with his agility to slide in there behind the offensive line and chase down a running back who's trying to figure out where he's going and make the tackle. I mean, that's what you have to do to win football games.
Yeah.
We, for the longest time, didn't have people who would make plays. If we're sitting there and we're like, oh man, should we really let Joe Schobert go? To Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. Holy crap.
Yeah.
I mean, it isn't even close. So, yeah, exciting times. Anyway, continue on.
So we're speaking of linebackers, and I wonder if, so I'm going to go to Mack Wilson, right? So he's 12th, but he played 11 snaps, 5 in the run defense, and 6 in coverage. And he graded out at a 66.3, 61.3 in the run defense, and a 64.1 in coverage. So you got to wonder, is that what he is? Depth for 10 to 12 snaps.
It's not costing us a lot of money.
Not costing us a lot of money, given the starters a little reprieve, and for those 11 snaps, where they were in the game, he can hold his own. because it's not a lot of volume and it's not a lot. I mean, 11 snaps throughout the game. It's not like he played 5 in a row and then 1 and then 2. I'm sure they were scattered to, depending on the personnel and who he was spelling. But, maybe that's his role, and I'm fine with that. If I know there was a big deal, on Twitter, with Elijah Lee getting cut, and then they did bring him back to the practice squad. But I mean, he had 14 snaps, so 3 more than Mack, and he had a 50.3 in coverage and a 74.2 in tackling. So it's they're comparable, but Mack's a little bit better in with less reps. So that might be his sweet spot, and you know what, I'm okay with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know what? We haven't seen continued digression from him. We've seen the exact opposite. I think he's playing it up to his level. I don't think Mack Wilson's ever going to be JOK.
No.
Right? He's not going to be Anthony Walker. He's not going to be Malcolm Smith. He's not going to be Taki Taki. He's going to be Mack Wilson.
And that's another guy, speaking of which, I don't. If you take away the pick 6 last year, yeah, he hasn't really done much. And I know he was injured here and there, but that's another.
He hasn't done what JOK is. Once JOK entered the building, it like put all those young linebackers like on notice of being like, and to be honest, if Myles Garrett wasn't on this defense. If Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward, and Jadeveon Clowney, the big name guys who like are within the football universe are household names, JOK would be the guy.
Yeah, and it's funny that you say that, because it's amazing that, and again, I mean, you're not going to be able to have 3 jocks on your team at one time at the linebacker spot. But I guess the point that I was going to make is, you look at these past seasons and with Mack Wilson and Taki Taki, and even Phillips, and there's people out there like, oh no, you got to watch the tape. They're really good. They're really good. They're really good. And then Owusu Koromoa comes in and then shows you what really good actually looks like.
Yeah.
And I mean, the reaction time of the kid is just, it's stupid. That's how fast he is.
So that actually brings up a really interesting point. And somebody in the chat was saying this as well. And this will be a final thought because we got to get out of here a little bit early today.
Yeah.
Mayfield versus Herbert.
Yeah.
Are we about to look at a kid who broke Baker's touchdown record, who is younger and is on a crazy trajectory here in the NFL? Is that going to be more fodder? If Baker has a repeat of the Vikings game, we're in trouble. I think Baker's going to bounce back and have a phenomenal game. Like, not just a good game, a phenomenal, like, this is going to be his breakout game.
You know what? I really, 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 really hope so. My worry this weekend is not even him, because he has that mentality that, he was embarrassed last week. And guys like that get embarrassed as if someone pulled his pants down in the middle of Kmart. He's coming this week and he's going to wear 2 belts, and then he's going to, he's going to play lights out, and he's going to do everything in his power for at least this game,
right,
to be flawless. So I don't worry about him necessarily. What I worry about is the line, because we don't know what's going on with Jed. He's not ruled out officially. Newsome is the only guy that was officially ruled out today. So we don't know what's going on with Jed.
What about
Hudson's numbers were putrid.
Is Hubbard gone?
Yeah, he's hurt, and I don't know if he practiced.
I mean,
today.
is there going to be a Kendall Lamb re-signing anytime?
Yeah, it's
And are we not playing Blake Hance there in the left tackle anymore?
no, apparently not. So
I always felt
it's
like Blake Hance was more of a guard anyway, but
yeah. I just don't know. I mean, Hubbard would definitely just, and I think that's it too. I think that I think if Hubbard's not hurt, they would be more apt to sit Wills and let Hubbard play more.
sure.
But I think, I mean, it's you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, because the ankle is not something that is detrimental, if you will. It's just one of those things that you could either sit around for 4 weeks, it was the off season, and it's healed, and you're out playing basketball in week 5, or it's one of those injuries, unfortunately, that you got early and you could play on it, but you're
So
limited.
here's what I'll tell you. And my guy Jake Rollerson, who played in college, will tell you as well. When you're an offensive lineman, when you're carrying 300 pounds,
Oh yeah,
and you got a lower leg injury, whether it's high ankle, whether it's ankle, whether it's calf, shin, quad, anything that you do carrying that much weight
yeah,
is an issue. And
yeah.
it doesn't
Especially,
heal that well. And you're out there trying to fight through it and putting your quarterback at risk and a whole bunch of different stuff. But at the end of the day, like, you're a competitor, you want to be out there, and it's just it's not like you and me. Like, if we sprained an ankle or something like that, we'd probably be able to stay off it for a little while, no problem. They're putting a ton of weight
oh yeah,
on that
and
damn
planning it.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I now that you mention that, I always think of our offensive line as being so rock solid, but with Jed still nursing that leg, do we know if he's practicing or not, or is he
no, yeah,
DNP?
yeah. He hasn't practiced,
So,
but
but he hasn't been ruled out.
he hasn't been ruled out. Yeah,
Thank God he's not practicing. Yeah, that could
and
be
there
a
was
problem. That
yeah,
could absolutely be a problem. And if that's the case, then let's just keep running the damn ball. Run the ball, throw this. How did you like that tight end screen that we ran last week?
yeah. That was interesting.
That was my dad and I looked at each other like, that was a good play. That was really
That,
well designed.
yeah, that's one of those ones that you put that on tape and they're looking for that, and then we pull it back and hit you on a deep ball or whatnot.
Yeah.
Somebody said earlier, and I know we got to wrap this thing up here, but someone earlier was asking if Schwartz would we consider him a disappointment? And he has
No.
I don't think he's a disappointment, but he from what we saw in the Chiefs game and what we thought we were going to have consistently to um, what we're before. Let me just take a real quick peek. I didn't even see how many snaps he had or where he fell. Schwartz was 14th with 15 snaps.
I think that's what I expected Schwartz to
To
be this
be,
season. Honestly, like, be like a deep ball. Take the top off you. Not a receiver like a Higgins who's just going to be consistent over the middle the whole
yeah,
game. Not going to be a big guy who's going to take it and rip one off like Odell would. But I'm not that concerned. I'm more concerned about like where DPJ has gone, because right now it just feels like he's MIA. DPJ
no,
MIA.
I totally agree with you, especially without Landry. I would have thought that we would have seen the coming out party at DPJ, and that's just not been the case.
Yeah. Well, hey guys, thanks for sticking with us. Sarah, congratulations on the win. Chubba Wubba was
Speaking,
asking where to buy it. Cleveland Clothing Co. is where you buy that. Again, sorry that I don't have my sponsors that are rotating on the wheel there. Usually we got dogwooves.com, Schlegel Law, Sabo Apparel, and Cleveland Clothing Co. Just flipping through there in terms of like people that are big fans and supporters of the channel. So big shout out to those guys, and then everybody in chat there as well. Shoot the Thrill, welcome. Isaiah Gassina, how's it going, my man? Ellis in Orlando, or Ellis and Orlando. So yeah, thank you everybody for being here today. I'm in Denver. I'm coming back tomorrow, so that's why we're in Studio B here in the hotel. But thank you guys very much for hanging out with us. And by the way, you can now listen to Brownie Postgame on like your favorite podcast apps. So Spotify and I believe Stitcher, I got approved, and everyone but iTunes. iTunes just takes a couple days, but anywhere like Amazon and so it's just one click for us to have this out there. So you can listen to Brownie Postgame on YouTube, or you can check it out on those podcast sites as well. So if you happen to have Spotify or something like that, head over, do a search for Brownie Postgame, just hit follow. That helps us out, and you can listen to it there. But yeah, any final thoughts, Mike?
One thing real quick before I get to my final thought, Isaiah asked if you have his email and his address for the mug.
Yes, and I sent it to them, so it should be on the way.
There you go, Isaiah.
Yeah, your mug is on the way.
Yeah, I just saw that. I wanted to make sure. So.
Yep, 100%. Yep, yep, I have your mug, and I think Ryan Brown won the second one. So his is on the way as well.
Awesome. Yeah, no. So final thoughts. I think it's a big one. I think that it's not a must win. It's a little early for that, but I think it's a must win in terms of the psyche of the offense, because I think if you could go out to LA and you could show up and show out on the offensive side of the ball, and the defense, they don't even have to play great, just play good. Because we're striving on and getting better on the defense, but you're going to have hiccups here and there. This very well could be one of those games going out to the West Coast. But I think if the offense shows up, they show out, and they win this game, they're really confident coming home to face that potent Cardinals offense. So I think it's a big one. I think we win. I don't know. I'm going to hold my score prediction until the pregame show, but I do think that the boys get out there and they get it done in a close one.
I think. Here's the deal. I always think the Browns are going to win, even when the Browns were losing every game. I always said they're going to win, and I want them to win. I am concerned about this game because of a couple things. The injury to Jed is a big deal. Not having Jarvis out there, that kind of thing. Yeah, got it. Mm-hmm. But as my dad has told me, there's a couple guarantees in life: death, taxes, and the Browns don't play well in California. So I am a little concerned about LA itself. And it's unfortunate that the Super Bowl happens to be in the same stadium. If we happen to get there. So this will be a nice primer for that. We'll get used to the field. We just played on an artificial turf. So, and the defense, it felt like the defense had a different gear. They were faster, right? So that's the good news. If we can get the offense from the Chiefs game to show up with the defense from the Bears and the Vikings, we're a championship team.
Yeah, no,
because we have a kicker. We got return guys. Talk about him. We're not. The penalties aren't there. I mean, we have a disciplined team, and we can play on all aspects of the ball, the three main elements. And I think we also have a very good clock management coach. I think we're in good shape, man. Let's go out there. Let's see what we can do. I think we win as well, but I'll hold back my score prediction for the pregame as well.
Yeah, you were closest to last week.
Yeah, just my scores don't matter at all. But maybe let's say I started a new run of actually naming the score. I think we are going to have more low-scoring games, though. I think this defense proved that they can keep teams under 10 points 2 games in a row. Can we keep the Chargers under? If we keep the Chargers under 10 points, we have the best defense in the league.
Yeah, no doubt.
And because I think we can score more than 10 points on offense, even on a bad day.
And you know what's key too, and then I'll pipe down here. But if all we need to do, right? I know it's so easy to say all we need to do, but if Baker is just on from a sense of we could run the ball 5, 6, 7 yards, get to third down maybe, and it's third and short, and we decide not to run, but we go a little bit of play action, and he's so accurate that he's hitting open guys, and we could sustain drives for 7-8 minutes, like we saw basically last week. I think that's the key with our defense. I think the key is if you and it's funny because our buddy Colin Coward talks about this all the time, and we hate him so much, but we don't think about it. But
Right.
if you just need Baker, and I think I even said it last week, we don't need him to be elite. We just need the guy to be able to complete passes, to move the chains when it's necessary. Because with this team, you could win time of possession and win 17-7 games. I mean, that's part of the reason, besides the fact that the defense was lights out last week, that we held the Vikings to 7 points. Because, I mean, I think we had the ball for like almost 40 minutes.
Yeah. Well, we'll see, man. I think you're right. I think we have a situation where Stefanski knows Baker's limitations and doesn't want to make Baker have to go win us games. I like starting off the games, running the ball, establish the run, because when it gets to the third, fourth quarter, the defense is exhausted. And that's what happened to the Vikings. Their defense could not stop anything. At third going into the fourth quarter, we are running downhill with Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb, platooning them back and forth. It's a beautiful thing to see. And it's a differentiator, and it's something that is more dangerous about the Browns than any other team in the league, and it's not even close. When our second running back is our 1A running back, I would say, not like second or anything like that. 1A is going to be a Pro Bowler. It's an amazing thing, and it's not like Nick Chubb isn't playing well, other than the fumble. I mean, it's not like he's not playing well.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys, I got to get out of here. I have a business dinner here it's only 6:47, but my body feels like it's like 9:00. Here in the beautiful city of Denver, other than their Bronco country.
Probably a little winded because the air is so thin up there.
I got to tell you, man, so we were going to do a spin class, like as a company, like an event, usually a bunch of us. And I was like, I can't do it. I'm on the 18th floor of this freaking hotel.
Oh my God.
And in the middle of the night, right behind me, right where that Browns thing, I woke up in the middle of the night going like that, like breathing heavy. And I'm like, it started to scare me. I was like, I don't know if I can. And I walk like 5 blocks to the office from the hotel.
Yeah.
And immediately I'm like trying to have conversation with a coworker, and I'm like, I can't breathe. So I'm looking forward to going back to Florida, where we have like my blood oxygen level can get back to normal, and I can breathe that stupid humid air.
I know that. Yeah, no, I know that feeling. We were in Park City, Utah, and obviously we drove up the hill, or I should say the mountain. But we got out, we went into a store, and I was like, why do I feel like I'm going to faint? Like I'm really, really lightheaded. And it was the altitude. Like it's a different beast.
Oh, Isaiah's here in Colorado Springs, just down the road. Wow. Yeah, it was a quick business trip. My corporate office for the new company that I'm working for is right down the street here. So we had a little team outing, get to know everybody here at the office. So it was a great opportunity. Starting to travel again. As you guys remember from like the first season of Brownie Post Game, when I used to travel and do the Brownie Post Game from the hotel by myself, there might be some of that. I don't know. We'll see. But thank you guys again for hanging out with us tonight. Appreciate it. As we love you all, and we will be back for the pregame show on Sunday. It's a late game, so just make sure you hit the bell icon on YouTube if you're a subscriber, just so you can get the alert. Follow us on Twitter. You got our Twitter handles right above our head. Head over to the merch store, browniepostgame.com/merch. You can get one of those mugs that Mike has, the official Wednesday show mug with mini Mike on there. Mike Moji. Wednesday show. It'll be your favorite mug other than your Victory Monday one.
It's a well done mug.
Yeah, I think it's awesome, dude. So thank you guys very much, and we will see you on Sunday. Go Browns.
Go Brownies.